as a teacher of special education, one thing that continues to amaze me is how creative my students are and how they see the world. For example, I just love the way they see the world, and how they think and how they see things. And one day, a kid, a couple years ago, a kid came up to me and said, "Hey, Mr. C, do you know how to say Mr. C backwards? I know how to say Mr. C backwards." I go, "Really? How do you say Mr. C backwards?" He goes like this. Here, he goes, "Watch. Mr. C." And so, at the same token, a couple years ago, I was working with this kid named Moses, and I used to call him Moses. I have nicknames for all my students. One day I said to him, I was giving him an assessment, and I needed his birthday, and I said, "Moses, when's your birthday?" He goes, "April 22nd. I go, "What year?" He goes, "Every year." And so, I think there's just so much about the kids that I work with that they see the world in such a unique and special way. And I live for that every day. I have Tourette's, and I first started developing tics when I was about 7, 8 years old. And it started with eye blinking, and then it went to barking, and my brother and my friends used to call me Mark Bark, which really infuriated me. Got me in a lot of fisticuffs and whatnot. One thing that I get asked a lot is, what's it like to have Tourette's? And, I've heard several different things. It's like having a sneeze and not being able to hold it back. Or it's like having to breathe. You can hold your breath for a little while, but sooner or later you have to breathe. So one time I wrote a memoir piece on it's a very long-winded piece, but it's very thorough and in-depth as to how I see Tourette's for me. And it's different for everybody, but this is a piece that I wrote. It's called 59 Minutes. An hour begins. There are 2, then 4, like itches, then 12. You dab 2, but 6 more come. You're trying to do them all at once, so you can't concentrate on what you were doing. Watching TV, reading a book, walking up the stairs. It's all in the details. Picking them out, examine them. Yourself, your body, and the outside. The things you use, the things that hurt, like grinding your wrist up against the kitchen table, scuffing your feet along the carpet, each one evenly until that last one step, which gets both feet. Sometimes you try and close your eyes so you won't notice things. Noticing things get you into trouble. Look once, twice, again, one more time, blink, blink, blink. You close your eyes so you won't see things you have to look at. But when you close them, you still see them, moving like a step might move out from under you. They come at you like thorns wanting to draw blood, and you give your pinky, your arm to them, but not your eyes. Your eyes are what keep you moving forward. Watch. The medicines keep you looped. You talk in loops, walk in loops. Sometimes you even listen in loops. When you're sleeping, you're not really sleeping. Your mind doesn't shut off. You think and think. You know your eyes are closed, but you're still seeing things. People, mad at you again. The same brick room. That same messed up bed, but different. With different hands reaching out to you, trying to help you. Maybe you annoy them. No, they annoy them. Your torn words, your head bopping, finger popping, lip licking, the words you say in twos and the same mapped out melody you've been rehearsing for moments to keep things fluent, they annoy them. And you feel bad, then angry, bitter, and then you're annoyed. Annoyed to sleep, to talk. You're annoyed to tell people why they shouldn't be annoyed, why you are annoyed. Why the things that annoy them are ratcheting steel bars to you, closing in on you like the cry of knives grating a chalkboard. And then you realize it's all futile. Every little annoying word you could utter would either make them hate you or pity you. Pity parties used to be fun. They used to give you a reason to feel brave. You'd feel brave and you'd know that people were sorry you had to deal with this, that, and oh my, a little poor you here and a little poor you there, and you were primed for the the yellow brick road of indulgence. But then something happened. You remember that you still had to deal with them. This and that, and the pity that ended as soon as the door behind you closed, your arms pushing away from the plotted hugs and doctorly pep talks. Pity didn't get you very far then, and it still doesn't today. You don't want someone to cry over what happens to you, what you do to yourself, or how some people misunderstand you. You want to own those tears like a cloud might try to suck its own rain back up. You want to change how people treat everyone, starting with the person right after you. You want them to understand we're all different and each a way to their own. Some are just more obvious than others. You wonder where it came from. Is it of you, a part of you, or something separate from you? A coup d'etat of the mind with soldiers running riot throughout the body. You do these things, but is it you? Do you want to do them? You enjoy them because they make you feel good. Like a second skin making time straight again. Your feet are jumping now. You want to stop them. You want to stop before you have to kick something and feel a spark pain sticking into your joint from where and what you've kicked. Or scratching your leg. No one will see that. Your toes pressing against the corners of your shoes. They won't see that either. But the blinking, the punching yourself in the ribs, gagging yourself on your own tongue, clucking your uvula, looking directly at the sun until your eyes blink under the prickly sprain from the bright, and then again, and again, until you finally look away, still seeing suns exploding in front of you. That they'll see, pointing and whispering loud enough for you to hear, looking at that sun again, or the girl's collar on her shirt until she thinks you're checking her out, and who can blame her? You look until she adjusts her shirt, and then you try to look away to mask what she thinks you were looking at, and then you look back because now you have to do it again since she adjusted her collar, and the sun is fighting for you again, and this time you've almost won, and you did it. You won. So you open your eyes, arms at your sides, back to your book, back to your dinner, back to the movie. No one is telling you what to do but you. No outside in or sidestep staring. Nothing is tugging you in any direction to or fro. There's just you and your body, two different limbs of the same tree. And for 1 minute, you're reminded of what life was like when you were 7 years old, before your parents yanked on you like a wishbone in the middle of the street during Saturday morning cartoons. Before you got lost in other kids' backyards on the way home from school, when you learned that mommies don't always come back home, before that crack in the sidewalk gorge, and you know that it was all worth it, this entire minute, all the itches combed into one gasp of instant, even if no one hears or sees you, you know, and that's all that counts in this game of one, where everything Tourette's is X times the things you notice. So,